Hola, hi, 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 hi. America is a big country, but it's still one country. We have so many different laws. Every state has its own laws. Different counties got their own codes. But I feel like in some issues, a fundamental issue for our time, such as sex crimes, rape, and YouTube is sensitive, but you understand what I'm saying. You know, hurting the youngins, things like that. I feel like we need to have a uniform law for the whole country. Let me give you an example. The age of consent, for instance, vary from one state to another. You got states where I used to live in New Jersey. It's 18, and I live in Georgia now. I never checked before today. I just checked. It's 16, which is crazy. 2 years difference between two states. 2 hour flight away from each other. Not even 2 hour flight, an hour 30-minute flight from Newark to Atlanta. That's crazy. We need to have one law. We can say 18. I don't even care if we say 19 for the age of consent for somebody to become an adult. We can even say 20. I don't have any, but we need to have one uniform age for the whole country. I was reading about this guy, Jerry Harris. He's a young man. They say he's a star of a show called Cheers. I think he's a cheerleading show on Netflix. He has been convicted and sentenced to 12 years to federal prison, 12 years for sex crimes. Boy, the one that I really noticed, they say he solicited nude pictures from a 17-year-old. He's 22 now. How old was he when he solicited those nude images for that 17 years old person? I'm not even sure if it was a girl, but because it looks like he was an equal opportunity offender. You know, he he abused uh, both sexes, girls and boys, which is crazy. And if he really did what they're saying he did, he deserved time. But we need to have a uniform law. So because 17 might be illegal in one state. I'm not talking about it from my perspective, way older than those age group, not my age group at all. But like for in some states, a 17 years old and a 20 years old, it's not illegal. But in other states, it might be illegal. I think we need to have this conversation. We need a uniform law. Can't be having 18 in some states, 16 in some states. 16, by the way, 16 is way too low for a grown man or a grown woman to go, date somebody 16. That's crazy to me. But that's my view. In some states, that's legal. And which is you have something even crazier than that. They have parental consent in some states. It can even go lower than 16 or 17 in some states. Minors can even get married with parental consent in some Western states. 15 years old could get married to a grown man in some Western state with parental consent. Utah, Colorado, all that is crazy. You're in one country, so many different laws, and people move around. You have mobility. People have mobility now. You have planes there all over. People just be like, oh, I want to go to Colorado. I love the mountains so much. Boom. I want to go to Jersey. I think I'm tired of the West. Boom. Colorado, it might be 16, but Jersey is 18. But this kid, I'm not gonna say he don't deserve it. I don't know his case. He has a lot of people accusing him, but he's just 22 years old, and most of those things were happening. He was way younger than this. So if the girl or the boy was 17, how old was he? Was the Jerry Harris? I'm not defending him. I don't care about his lifestyle. That's his. But I'm just saying, like, let's just think about it. It's worth a conversation. We need to have a uniform age of consent, especially that there's crimes against our youngins. is at the forefront nowadays. We cannot have one country and so many different laws about something as important as protecting the innocent, the young. We need to have a uniform law. People shouldn't have a cop out. A grown man should not be like, oh, you used to live in this state, it was 16. That's why I thought in New York it was going to be 16. No, hell no. In New York, it's not 16. But we need to take any confusion out of it. I felt like Jerry Harris, 12 years of federal prison. If he really did what they're saying he did, he deserved it. I don't really care about his personal case, but I'm just saying, they're saying one of the victims was 17 at the time, and it didn't happen right now. And right now, this kid is 22. How old was he when they're saying he solicited a nude picture from that 17 years old? And in some states, that wouldn't be illegal unless there was some money involved. Then they can have, or cross-border thing. If the feds are involved, it must be because of cross-border stuff, whatever. Soliciting and paying money for it. It must be that. But it's still sad. A young man, he was having a lot of success. It looks like in his field. I never watched any movie of his. I didn't know him before, seeing his case. It's still sad. Another young black man, even though he might be living a lifestyle that a lot of people in the community don't like, but these kids need guidance. No matter their lifestyle, they need guidance. They need guidance. They need guidance to tell them, okay, you might be 20, but 17 years old, it's illegal in this state. Or you shouldn't be texting people. All the states don't have the same law, or the feds might get involved. You shouldn't be asking for nude pictures. It's sad, but we need a uniform age of consent in this country.